Hey everybody, David the AI Guide here. Welcome to another episode on the AI Guide where we're making AI human. What does that mean? Well, it means we focus on the human impact of AI and the associated exponential technologies that AI is enabling. What are a few of those? 3D printing, autonomous driving. So AI is driving all of these technologies forward. And AI ultimately will drive another technology forward. Today's video is really great because it's a breakthrough on quantum computing. But before we get to that, click the links below, get my book on Amazon, The Beginner's Guide to AI, Short History and Current Impact on 10 different industries. It's a fast read, a couple of hours, and you can read the whole book. The other link is free resources. Learn more about AI so that you are prepared for a highly automated future where you will be required to use AI at your work. And if you don't believe me, look at Sunday's video. This is Wednesday's video. Look at the very last video I did, if you don't believe me, about having to use AI at work, and virtually immediately. I said a breakthrough in quantum computing. Now, this was really interesting to learn because I learned something that I had no clue about, and maybe you didn't either. But this is thanks to NASA and JPL, the Jet Propulsion Lab, which is a NASA facility run by Caltech in California. And I've been there before to hear people speak, and it's so cool. What a cool place. In fact, years later, where I used to live before we relocated last year, as you know, I met some people again that I had met at JPL because they were there working on their PhDs at the time. And when the first time I met them, they go, "You look familiar. Have you ever been at JPL?" I'm like, "Yeah." So that was funny. Small world. But anyway, space station to host self-healing quantum communications tech demo. Quantum computers hold the promise of operating millions of times faster than conventional computers. But to communicate over long distances, quantum computers will need a dedicated quantum communications network. I had no idea about that it's required for quantum computers to work. In other words, think of it as a completely different parallel internet alongside the existing internet. To help form such a network, JPL has invented the performance-enhanced array for counting optical quanta, which they abbreviate Peacock. Detector is able to measure the precise time each photon hits it within 100 trillionths of a second. Stunning. At a rate of 1.5 billion photons a second. No other detector is even comparable. I told you this was a breakthrough. A new detector technology like the Peacock that can measure single photons with a precision of a fraction of a nanosecond enables sending quantum information at higher rates and farther than previously possible. Conventional computers transmit data as bits. Quantum computers communicate differently. They encode information as quantum bits or qubits, which you've heard of those, in fundamental particles such as electrons and photons that can't be copied and retransmitted without being destroyed. So quantum computers, why they've been so tricky and why they've taken 30 plus years to develop is they're measuring something that is extremely perishable and fragile. Adding to the complexity, quantum information transmitted through optical fibers via encoded photons degrades after just a few dozen miles. So quantum computers can only talk to each other right now over a very short range, unlike the internet where you can talk to a computer on the other side of the globe, literally. A dedicated free space optical quantum network could include space nodes aboard satellites orbiting the Earth. These nodes would generate pairs of entangled photons that would be sent to two quantum computer terminals hundreds or even thousands of miles apart. A highly sensitive detector like Peacock is needed to precisely measure the time it receives each photon and deliver the data it contains. So impossible before this breakthrough. The detector itself is tiny, measuring only 13 microns across, meaning I don't think you can see that with the naked eye. It is composed of 32 niobium nitride superconducting nanowires. Now, I was just reading about superconductors separately yesterday, and it's super interesting, but superconductors lose nothing while transmitting energy. In other words, it is a necessary condition in the future to dramatically improving the way energy is transmitted, unlike today with the high power tension power lines where lots of power is lost during the transmission. But that's a whole different topic. Each nanowire is 10,000 times thinner than a human hair. Think about that. The Peacock detector must be kept at a cryogenic temperature just 1 degree above absolute zero, or minus 458 degrees Fahrenheit, 272 degrees Celsius. This keeps the nanowires in a superconducting state. So this other article I read, I'll do a short on about superconductors because it in itself is another completely separate breakthrough in superconductors. I'll do a short on that this week. Although the detector needs to be sensitive enough to count single photons, it's also designed to withstand being hit by many photons at once, because you can't control photons, right? Not really. In the near term, Peacock will be used in lab experiments to demonstrate quantum communications at higher rates and over greater distances. So this Peacock detector is based on a detector developed for NASA's Deep Space Optical Communications Technology Demonstration. It's abbreviated DSOC. DSOC will launch with NASA's Psyche mission, which is going to the first all-metal asteroid to survey it. Very cool mission. Later this year in 2023 to demonstrate for the first time how high bandwidth optical communications between Earth and deep space could work in the future. So these new detectors, one on the Peacock detector and the Psyche mission detector, are game changers for two completely different things. One is quantum computing communication, the new internet, and much more rapid communication with spacecraft examining things in deep space at great distances. Vastly superior data communication rates over present. So this is very cool stuff, a complete breakthrough, two complete massive breakthroughs in this week's videos. When I started the AI Guide 3 years ago this month, there was a breakthrough a month. Now there's 2 a week. That is exponential. Click those links below. Prepare yourself for this. Read my book and get the free resources. The resources are all free. Learn about AI. Prepare yourself. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks especially to my subscribers. Just past 80,000 views. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week here on the AI Guide. Take care. Have a great rest of the week and weekend.